So I've not seen anyone do this for DaVinci Resolve yet. I wish it was something that I had learned when I started off. So you might be a beginner user, you might be an intermediate user, but I think this video will really help set your project off in the right way. This is what I used to do before. So I'd be in DaVinci Resolve, I would create a new timeline. So say a timeline 1, I'd probably call it something like edit or working timeline. And then in here, I'd create some new bins, video, raw, music. Most video projects need a bit of music, and then I'd probably do like sound effects, that kind of thing. And then in these folders, or bins as they're called in DaVinci Resolve, I'd start dragging in files by clips, and then I'd be going from there, dragging those straight down into my timeline down here. Now, if you're making videos quite often, like I am, if you're a video editor in your profession or your job, or even if you're just a content creator for yourself, making clips for gaming channels, you're going to be wasting a lot of time by doing this every single time, creating all these new things, when you can create yourself a template and just have this completely ready to go every time you open it up. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make an absolutely amazing DaVinci Resolve project template that you can kick off for every project, 99% of projects. So the odd project might need something different, but for the most part, this will solve all of your problems. Okay, are you ready? Let's do this the right way. So let's create a new project. You can do that by right-clicking here, new project, or clicking down here, new project. We're going to click the button just because I was right there. Okay, so we're going to call this Project Base 2024, or whatever year you happen to be watching this in. We don't discriminate against time travelers on this channel. And then we're going to hit create or enter. And this will open you up to a brand new DaVinci Resolve project. So DaVinci has many pages that if you're coming from the Adobe world, you can think of these as all of your different programs. So for example, Fusion, this one here, that'll act as your After Effects. So for this video in particular, we're going to start in the edit page, which is this one here. If yours doesn't look like this, it might be because you need to right click here or control click on Mac. I have to check my Mac. I've got my Mac open next to me for my Mac shortcuts, and I've got my PC that I'm working on currently because I'm unilateral. That's not what that word means. Ambidextrous, I suppose, is a better word. Okay, so right click or control click on Mac, and this will open this little icon here, show icons only or show icons and labels. So now you can see here exactly what page you're on. I prefer it just having icons just because I'm used to it, but for now we'll leave this on with the labels just to make it a little bit easier for you. First of all, we're going to create some folders in this brand new base project just to keep everything structured, keep everything organized. It's going to help if you come to work as part of a team with other editors. If you're really structured and organized, the rest of the editing team, they're going to absolutely love you. Any kind of editor is going to love this. This up here is your media pool. If you don't see your media pool, you can click the icons up here to open it up. You've got media pool, this will open this. You can close the effects if you like and just have the media pool open just so it takes up the whole space. And this little tab here opens up the master, the sidebar for everything else. But for right now, we're going to work here in this media pool where it says no clips in media pool. Now, let's create our first bin. Just so you know, bins in DaVinci Resolve are folders. So if I say folder and we're working in DaVinci Resolve, I mean bin. We're going to right click or control click on Mac and hit here, new bin. And this is going to add it straight in that you can rename it straight away. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to call this 01_footage. Now, what adding that 01 does is when you sort it by thumbnail view, it's going to keep it aligned as the first bin in your project. But now, as you can see from my menu, that we are in the 01 footage folder, and we're going to create a couple more folders or bins in here. Right click, new bin. The first one we're going to make is ACAM. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. You can probably guess what's coming. We're going to have BCAM, and then we're going to have CCAM also.
Oh my God.
I don't like that not being capitalized, so we're just going to click and hold that. ACAM, BCAM, CCAM. Nice. Now, you might not need ACAM, BCAM, CCAM in every project. It's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them if you're working to a deadline. Okay, so now I'm going to click back out to master. So if you click master up here, again, if you can't see that, you can toggle that in here. And we're back in our main master file. Next, we're going to make the audio file. So we're going to right click, new bin, O2_audio. There we go. O2 is done, and now we're going to click into here as well, and we're going to do 3 more folders in here. So this time we're going to need music, sound effects. This can be your choice what you call this one, microphone recordings, voiceover or VO. It's completely up to you. Just for this one, I'm going to put voiceover, and then we're going to go back to master again. As you can see now, we're getting a nice little structure going, and this time we're going to do 03_, and this one's going to be graphics. Double click into here now. And then we're going to create 2 folders inside of graphics. The first one is going to be logos. Very important if you're working to like a client brief, you want to keep that all in a very organized place where you can find it nice and easy. And then next is going to be motion graphics. So I would probably use this for if you're bringing motion graphics in, maybe if you're working in After Effects perhaps, maybe you want to bring that in over here. Head back to master again, we're going to stay here. That was weirdly kinky, sorry. The next bin we're going to need is project files. 04 project files. Project files. Okay, there we go. This one's a little nebulous and it can house many different files. For example, here you can store DaVinci Resolve project backups for transferring the project to another system. You could do project settings, so any exported templates or presets, timeline settings, color grading, LUTs, fusion templates. You could even put references in here, so we're talking like script, storyboards, or shot lists used to guide the project. Third-party files you could put in here, so any external project files like Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, or you could put After Effects renders here that you've integrated into the workflow. You could store your stock licenses or attribution information, project notes, so documents with notes about the project, including changes, requests, or like creative briefs, for example. And that, again, I'm covering all the bases here. You might not need to store all this in here if you're like a solo editor. If you're working part of a team, this might be necessary, but if you're doing smaller briefs, might not be necessary. But it's nice to have it and to know where you can put it straight away, and then if a client has to see it, you can very easily show them exactly where all these files are. Next, we're going to add number 5. So again, 05 underscore, and this one, very important again, is Fusion clips. This is where we're going to store all of our Fusion clips or VFX shots. Very important. Okay, back to master again, and the next folder we are going to use is 06 comps. A compound clip is a container that groups multiple clips, layers, and effects into a single clip within your timeline. It's like a nesting sequence in other softwares, think Premiere Pro. By turning a series of clips into a single comp or a single entity, you can manipulate them as one unit while still having the flexibility to edit their content. You can also decompose these in your timeline as well if you want to unstack them, make some adjustments, and then recomp them again to save on rendering. Store those here. This next one is important. So this one is going to be timelines. So 07 underscore timelines. Keep this one extra safe. This is where all of your working timelines are going to be kept. In here, you could create another folder called previous versions. That way, when you're editing, you can duplicate your timeline to make sure you're always editing the correct one. So I'll do that now. So I'll add a timeline in here just so we can see how that works. I'm going to name this edit so I know which one I'm working in. And then perhaps I've made some edits to this. We've had some feedback from a client, so they want a new version. So what I would do is right click here, duplicate timeline. I've got edit copy. And then what I would maybe do, create a new folder or a new bin and call this previous versions. What this helps is it always makes sure that you're working in the correct timeline in case you get that dreaded line from a client, can we hear it with different music? Which is the phrase that every editor loathes entirely, because it means that you've got to retime, reframe stuff, change your flow entirely. So on second thought, yes, let's make that folder. So if this is V1, for example, and we're now on edit V2, I would call this edit V1, and I would just obviously drag that over into previous versions just to make sure we're always working in the correct version. Back to master folder again for the penultimate bin. This is number 8, so now new bin 08 underscore exports. This will use for any exported files, obviously, so this could be final deliverables exported in required formats, so we're talking MP4, MOV, AVI, multiple versions for the final edit, so this could be social media or broadcast, for example. Drafts and revisions, so iterative versions of your exports for client reviews. Project name V2 final, this time it's done, ... .mp4. So you can have alternate versions in here. So this could be different aspect ratios, so 60:9, 9:16, 1:1 for specific platforms like YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Subtitles and captions could go in here. You could do compressed versions for quick exports and sharings, backup exports. So this could be archived copies in uncompressed or high quality formats. So we're talking ProRes, DNX, HD, or other requested custom formats. They can all be stored in here to easily find them. Why is this important? It keeps all your deliverables in one place. It makes it really easy to find things during or after the project, and most importantly, for organized client handoffs. At the end of the day, I want clients happy so they come back. This just streamlines the process for the handover by having a structured export system. And now for that final bin, 09 admin. Boring, right? Wrong. Okay, no, seriously. This one's optional, and again, If you're part of a team, you might not need this one in the project. You might have a whole other department that deals with this kind of stuff. But if you're a single creator, videographer, if you're a freelancer, this might be helpful. So in here, you could keep client correspondence. You could keep budget and invoices. Again, you might not need to, but you might want that there. Project deadlines or schedules, legal documents, NDAs, release forms, copyright documents for the project, or meeting notes and minutes. Notes from discussions or meetings with stakeholders. DaVinci Resolve has a ton of features, even in the free version, and I can edit a video in DaVinci Resolve much faster and to a higher degree of quality than I can in Premiere Pro. After Effects, for example, I'll go to this every single time. Now, when a client asks me to edit in Premiere Pro, I'll be like, ugh, and then I'll say, no, thank you. And then I'll be like, no, I didn't mean it. Come back. I was just joking. I'll do it, but I won't be as happy as I would if I was using DaVinci Resolve. My happy place is DaVinci Resolve, and after this playlist, I'm sure it will be yours too. We're going to hit File, we're going to hit Save Project, and there we go. And that should give you a great base project for any of your next video projects. Next, we're going to create a timeline structure as well. That'll come up in the next video. And then as a little bonus, we're also going to touch on the Fairlight audio page. YouTube is now going to throw up the next video recommended for you in this playlist. And I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.